This is Chris with Front Porch Football, where we take SEC football as serious as you do. I'm going to continue in our series ranking position groups within the SEC, and I'm going to rank a position group that everyone loves to talk about, and that is the quarterback position. The SEC has a lot of big-time quarterbacks entering the 2017 football season, but I can only take 5 in this ranking. We're going to do a top 5 ranking of quarterbacks in the SEC, and it's funny because a couple of years ago, you couldn't find enough good quarterbacks to fill this list, and now we have plenty of contenders. So again, we're going to do top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC in 2017. We're going to start at number 5, and that's going to be sophomore Jake Bentley from the University of South Carolina. Bentley makes the top 5 list because of how he finished last season in that overtime bowl loss to South Florida. Bentley threw for just shy of 400 yards passing in that game, and it was kind of the cherry on top for what was a very solid freshman campaign in year 1 for Jake Bentley. If South Carolina had that kind of quarterback play to start the season before Bentley was thrust into the starting role, I argue you might be seeing an 8 or 9 win 2016 South Carolina football team. So number 5 is Jake Bentley. At number 4 is the reigning SEC Offensive Player of the Year, Jalen Hurts from the University of Alabama. Hurts is a great football player, and he definitely deserves to be on this list. And I know a lot of you are going to argue that he needs to be ranked higher on this list. In my opinion, Hurts is a great player, but he's not a great quarterback. He benefited last season from the best backfield in the SEC, one of the best offensive lines in the country, and a receiving corps that had a plethora of SEC talent and SEC stardom throughout it. This season, the running backs return and the offensive line returns, and I think Jalen Hurts can prove that he is a top 3 quarterback in the SEC if he's able to surpass maybe, let's say, 3,000 plus passing yards. A lot of talent at the receiver position. Darius Stewart, O.J. Howard is gone from last season. He does return Calvin Ridley. If Hurts has a big season in his sophomore campaign, I think he cracks the top 3 ranking. But until then, I think there are a couple of other players that rank above him in this top 5 ranking of SEC quarterbacks. At number 3 is Drew Lock from Missouri. As much as I hate to say that, many people are going to say Drew Lock is a product of the offense that he's in, and I think that is partially true, but he's also a talented passer. And while he may not win a ton of games, he does put up big numbers and makes few enough mistakes for him to crack my top 3. He returns in 2017 as the SEC's leading quarterback in passing yards per game. The reason why he's not one of the top 2, in my opinion, is because he does have a relatively poor completion percentage, which you hate to see, and that might also point to some of the reasons why Missouri is not a bowling team, I think, in 2017. And the other reason why he doesn't crack the top 2 is because he plays for Missouri, and I'll be damned if I let a Missouri player top any list of mine. At number 2 is Austin Allen from Arkansas. Allen is the best pure passer on this list, in my opinion, and even though he is kind of small in stature, he has a cannon for an arm. He had an impressive completion percentage last season, and he threw for over 3,400 yards passing. But what keeps him from the number 1 ranking is that he makes a lot of mistakes and takes a lot of risks. He threw 15 interceptions last season, and some of those picks were costly for Arkansas at times. However, that comes with the territory when you have a gunslinger at quarterback, and Allen is definitely that. So at number 2 is going to be Austin Allen from Arkansas. Puts up big numbers, puts Arkansas in a lot of great positions in the passing game, but he also does make some mistakes. And so that brings us to our number 1 ranking in the top 5 ranking of SEC quarterbacks in 2017. The best quarterback in 2017, in my opinion, is going to be Nick Fitzgerald from Mississippi State. He can do it all. And I think after a spring and summer of working with Dan Mullen on his throwing mechanics and how to better read coverages, I think Fitzgerald's setting himself up for a monster junior season. Fitzgerald's not only a decent passer, but he might be the greatest rushing threat the SEC has to offer, not named Darius Geis. Yes, I'm including Bo Scarborough, Cam Petaway, and Nick Chubb in that statement. Fitzgerald rushed for just shy of 1,400 yards last season as a quarterback, and with Ayers Williams returning at running back to keep those defenses honest, I think Fitzgerald could surpass those numbers in 2017. So that concludes my rankings. Nick Fitzgerald number 1, Austin Allen number 2, Drew Lock number 3, Jalen Hurts number 4, Jake Bentley from the University of South Carolina at number 5.